All right, let's dig into something you probably haven't thought about in years: the secret language of old telephones. I'm talking about those hums and beeps and pulses that used to be a part of every single phone call. It's kind of wild to think about, but back in the day, every call involved a whole conversation before you could even start your conversation.
Seriously, just picture it. Before you could say hello to your friend, you first had to talk to the phone system itself. And that was the huge puzzle for the engineers building the first automatic telephone exchanges. How in the world do you replace a real thinking person with a machine that can still, talk to you? Because that's the thing. Before all this automation, there was an actual human operator handling every single call. They were the original user interface. So when machines took over, they had to invent a brand new language, a language made entirely of tones, to do the operator's job. And that job was more complicated than you might think. The operator had to do 5 key things. First, get the number you wanted to call. Second, let you know the call was actually going through. Third, they'd ring the other person's phone. And super importantly, they had to tell you if the line was busy or if it was completely unreachable for some reason. Every one of those jobs needed its own unique sound. So let's go on the journey of a classic phone call and see how this language actually works. It all starts with that one simple move. You pick up the receiver. What is the very first sound you're supposed to hear? That steady hum. That's the dial tone. It's basically the system's way of picking up the phone and saying, "Hello, I'm here. I'm ready for a number." It's the very first word in this human-machine conversation, confirming the line is open and it's listening. If you could see the sound, it would look just like this: a completely continuous, unbroken wave. It's just humming away, usually at a frequency around 33, 50, or sometimes 400 hertz. That steady, unending sound is a pure signal that means one thing: I'm ready. So here's the first rule of the secret language, and it's super simple. A continuous, steady tone means the system is ready. It is the green light of the telephone network. Okay, so you've heard the dial tone, you've dialed the number, now what? You're in that little moment of suspense, right? You're just waiting, hoping the call connects. The system needs to tell you, hang on, I'm working on it. And it has a special sound for that too. And that's the ringing tone. Now, here's something that blows people's minds. The sound you hear is not the other person's phone ringing. Nope, it's a completely separate signal sent just to you. It's the system's way of giving you a progress report, saying, hey, just so you know, I'm sending a signal to make their phone ring right now. And the way it communicates this is all about rhythm. See how it's different from the dial tone? It's not a steady hum anymore. It's broken up into a very specific pattern of sound and silence. That pulse is what tells you that you're in a state of waiting. And would you look at how specific this is? It's not random. It's a tone for 0.4 seconds, a tiny pause for 0.2 seconds, another tone for 0.4 seconds, and then a big 2-second silence before it all starts over. It's a message encoded in time. So here's our second rule. If a continuous tone means ready, then an intermittent, pulsing tone means please wait. The entire meaning is literally baked right into the rhythm. But we've all been there. Not every call goes through. Sometimes you just hit a roadblock. So the system needed a way to tell you about 2 very different kinds of failure. And it did it, of course, with 2 very different tones. First up is the classic busy tone. This one's pretty straightforward. It means the person you're trying to call is already on the phone with someone else. The line's occupied and the system is telling you, sorry, try again later. And the sound totally matches that feeling. It's a faster, more insistent pulse than the ringing tone. It's on for 3/4 of a second, then off for 3/4 of a second, over and over. It's clearly communicating a much different message. No entry. But then there's the other kind of failure, which is actually way more serious: the unobtainable tone. This isn't just someone being busy. This means the line itself can't be reached. There could be a disconnected circuit, a line down, a major technical problem. So how does the system tell you about these 2 very different problems? It's genius. On the left, you've got that pulsing, busy tone we just talked about. But on the right, for an unobtainable number, you get a solid, continuous tone. It sounds almost like a dial tone, but it's telling you the total opposite. It's a dead end. So one rhythm says, try again later, but the solid tone says, you can't get there from here. For decades, this whole elegant system of sounds was the universal language of making a phone call. But as you know, technology marches on, and this language, well, it's slowly disappearing from our lives. And really, it makes perfect sense. Think about it. When's the last time you actually got a busy signal? With things like call waiting and voicemail, one of the most important words in this old language is pretty much obsolete. Instead of being told no, you just get sent to a machine. And that's the thing to remember. These were never just random noises. The steady hum, the patient pulse, the urgent beep, each one was a clear message. It was a voice without words, designed to make a really complex system feel simple and understandable to every single person who used it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As these old, familiar tones fade into history, what are the new invisible languages that are guiding our technology right now? The little vibrations our phones make, the soft chimes from our computers, they're all talking to us. The only question is, are we listening?